Howdy there! Today I will make a very stylish Viking hat from EVA Foam. Let's start this, shall we? For this project I will use the patterns from Kamui Cosplay. I will leave the link down in the description to her channel because she's amazing in cosplay and prop building. Thing that I am not, definitely not.
This helmet pattern you can actually get for free in her website. There weren't many instructions in it, so I cut all of the pieces with a certain angle, and I don't think this was a good idea.
I'm feeling kinda blue today. So this is a project I've been postponing for a while because I am really scared of doing it. My past experiences with contact cement have not been good and I am freaked out.
You have to apply a thin layer of contact cement on both sides of the pieces that you want to glue together and wait for them to dry before you attach them.
That's really looking really round and nice. Very pointy on the head, but I will, as soon as I use the heat gun, I think it will be wearable. I hope so. Oh my god.
Once you reach towards the end, it's a good idea to use some masking tape on both sides of the last two pieces in order for them not to glue to each other before you want them to actually glue to each other.
This is, ow. This is the roundest I could get with the heat gun. I will go with the Dremel later on and make the seams a little better because they look ridiculous. I think I need to change this part because it's kind of in the eye. But Steve has to try it on and now he's playing video games and I will have to wait. Oh, I destroyed my beautiful toupee. There. Now I will start working on the horns.
Look at this mess.
For this one I also used the Kamui horn pattern. Costs I think $10. I will use these long horns. Steve and I will have the same horns. You can see these notches. The notches need to stick together, so you have to force the pieces as much as possible so you fit the notches.
It's really important to mark all the notches and also not to forget to number your pieces so you know what goes where and don't get lost like I did several times.
Oh my god. This will be hard, I can see already.
This pattern actually shows if you have to cut on an angle or not, so that's really helpful. And in the end, the assembly was not that complicated as I thought it would be. It's just the forcing of the pieces that's a little bit annoying if you don't know how to use contact cement properly, like me.
I don't know if it's because it's really warm outside. The contact cement is drying quicker than I thought it would. The first time that I worked with it like 1,000 years ago, it took like half an hour and now it takes 5 minutes. Maybe it's the new formula, I don't know. But it doesn't even give me the time to prepare mentally for the gluing.
I am really amazed by the curves that this horn is getting by just pressing two pieces together. It's really amazing. The shape is absolutely wonderful.
In order to close the horns and not have the problems that I had with the helmet, Svetlana uses masking tape to put on the parts that are not supposed to glue right away. And I will give this a try now.
Oh, if only past me had known that before.
Oh wow, this is majestic, look at that, it's huge. My seams for sure need some working on. So both horns are now ready.
I marked where they were supposed to go on the helmet and I attached them using more contact cement.
These horns are so massive I don't quite fit in the frame. Now I'll add some Kwik seal to the seams to make them look prettier, and let's see how it goes.
Hello, it's me from the future again. Do not use as much Kwik seal as I did on this piece because it's a material waste, and once you Dremel that down, it will all fall off and will be for nothing, for absolutely nothing.
So now what you can see here is a very clean application of Kwik seal. Look how pretty this is. I got a little too excited with the thing. I will leave this to dry and then I will Dremel everything.
What a waste of my time.
Such a mess. I was just downstairs finishing some final touches with the Dremel before I add the other details on this helmet. It's supposed to be rustic anyway, so I am not very worried about that. I did some scoring with the Dremel on the horns. I will add a really thin strip of foam to this part and here around the face, and then I will add some bolts and screws.
Here I prepared a pattern just using some masking tape that I glued directly onto the helmet where I wanted the new piece to be. Then I drew on top of that, cut it on the shape that I needed and cut it in out of 0.3mm foam.
This is my beautiful pattern. Na-na! So this is the piece. I will attach this. And now I need a piece for this part.
The same amazing procedure was then repeated around the base of the rods. Then, of course, more contact cement, attaching everything together, and voila!
Just a tiny disclaimer for all of you. Do not get contact cement on an open wound because it burns a lot. I knew I was going to find a use for this after all.
Thank you, Andrea.
So I need screws and some bolts. Squishy. I need to do this for 1 whole minute. I am enjoying this a lot. So I need to give this now 4 to 5 minutes to dry. So while that dries, I will try to close some of these gaps with foam clay. Oh no, this is really weird. I just wanted to close the hole on the top. I didn't want this aberration to happen. Well, I have to Dremel this once it's dry because I destroyed it. This is now dry.
After the 5 minutes passed, the silicone mold was finally dry and I was able to press then some foam clay into the holes and make my beautiful bolts.
Mine looks like a paw. My god, with each day that goes by, I look more and more like a crazy person. After 24 hours, I went in with the Dremel again and I made some bevels all around the pieces that I glued yesterday. The bolts and screws are also dry, so I will glue those to the helmet right now.
But first I had to trim some of the excess borders that they created because of course I used too much foam.
So now that all is dry, I can go with the heat gun and seal it. If I only could find my heat gun. There she is. It's a very technological gadget. You see, you have 1 and 2 and that's it. It's already on! No!
I am not sure how long you should do this, but I generally do it until I see the foam starting to be a little bit shiny. And of course before it catches fire, because yes, I set it on fire. But that's another video.
The foam clay definitely melted a little bit. Am I pretty or what? Now I need to use this Plastidip. It insulates so I can take an electrical shock to the head. I don't think that. Ew, seriously? This is full with mold because of the sushi mask. Ew, this is disgusting. Ew. I don't know if this was such a good idea, but I don't care. I think it's dead now. I do know you have to leave the Plastidip can in hot water for about 10 minutes before I use it. I wasn't able to find what temperature, so I'm boiling some water and I will do that outside. I will just drop it and run for my life in case it explodes on my face. So I just need to put sushi away for safety reasons first. Susu? Susu? Sit. This is not sit. This is not sit either. What are you doing? Look at the betrayal on that little face. No worries, she never stays like this. This cage is too small for her anyways. Let's do this. There's the water. I cooled it down a little bit with cold water, but it's not really boiling. Let's spray this now. I spray painted the head gold to kill the mold.
You have to leave the spray can on a vertical position, spray it from 10 centimeters away, yada yada yada. I didn't read the instructions.
And that definitely needs more than 1 coat. Well, I knew that already, but I am not sure if I'm doing this right. It's very patchy, and here I think I applied too much. Let's wait for it to dry, and then try again. Oh my god, she's scared of the mask. Was ist das? Was ist das? Look how scared she is of the mask. Hey, where are you going? Are you scared of the mask? Lucy, are you scared of the mask? And that's because she didn't see hers. Imagine that. Come from the other side. What is that? Was ist das, Sushi? Was ist das? Ooh, now it's all black and prepared to receive paint. I don't know if I applied this correctly. It's already full with the hair, but you can see the seams more than I would like to. And here on the top, it's just, ugh. Thank God Steve is very tall and no one will be able to see this abomination on top of his head. I have masked all of the horns, all of them. I will spray paint this silver. This stinks more than the Plastidip, but it's ready. With minimal running, the silver brought up all of the defects on this thing. And when I was removing the masking tape, some of the Plastidip came off. I am 100% sure this is not supposed to happen. And look who has grown her tail feathers back. Yay! Elle est partie! Elle est partie! Just 2 more weeks and she can be brought back home. How exciting is that? It has some defects, but no problema. Get it? Because I'm wearing a llama shirt. Yes. I will add some details. I will make this an old silver and this will be kept normal. And then I will make this more of a cow color thing. Cow. Moo. Moo. Using oil paint. Burned umber. The best to make things old. Well, since I don't have thinner anymore, I will use an old piece of cloth.
Just buffing some color directly onto the helmet to make it look older and more used than it actually is.
I was expecting more from this Plastidip, to be honest, in order to hide where I came in with the Dremel. Could be because I used it wrong, of course, but I'm not really happy with this. Looking a little older now, but when I'm buffing in, I'm taking more out than I'm adding, so I'm waiting for it to dry so I can go again and just make it a little bit darker. I made the screws a little bit older. I'm not mad at this, but I need another brush for this part here. This thingy, because I'm yet to master the dry brushing techniques. Every time I do it, the brush doesn't seem dry enough, and then I add more paint than I would like to, and then it's disaster.
I dry brushed some acrylic paint onto the horns, first starting with white, then burnt umber again, some red, and I finished it with a touch of black just to bring everything together. And this is the final result, the complete look you will see in a few months when I am done with my dragon costume, because Steve also needs something to wear, so I'm doing this for him. The patterns from Kamui Cosplay are really easy to use, although I could use a little bit more instructions, even though I don't read them or follow them in any way. I guess she has on her books that I did not buy her books, and adding the horns to this pretty simple helmet pattern was really easy. Everybody can do it, just give it a try, just don't make the same mistakes that I did.